Just what did Adelaide serve up on Saturday against Carlton? Well, we'll tell you, and it wasn't pretty. We'll hear from all the club heavyweights. And at Port Adelaide, their forward structure breaks down again. We'll look at the vision behind the scenes of that one. This is your home for footy in South Australia, coming right up. And welcome and good evening. Welcome along to Footy SA in what was a disastrous week for footy in South Australia. Bernie Vince, this was not how it was supposed to play out. Welcome.
No, it wasn't. Yes, good to be here, Kane. But yeah, very disappointing Saturday afternoon for Adelaide Footy Club with everything to be gained from that game, and they just let all their supporters and team down. So very disappointing, mate. Let's
start with the Adelaide Football Club because they did lose to 16th place Carlton on the weekend. It is our Kia big moment number one. The V6 Twin Turbo is the West Australian car of the year. Been a circuit breaker right up your alley. Pizza and beers at Don Pike's house on the weekend.
I'm surprised I didn't get an invite.
Do you like it? Is it desperation times? And were you a part of clubs that did this sort of stuff very often?
I think these things can be blown up a little bit. It's probably just a bit of a gathering around at his place. And when media and that get hold of these things, they like to blow them up because the Crows have lost a few games in a row now. But I don't mind the bonding things. I think it gets the playing group together, gets everyone on the same page. But they were very disappointing on the weekend, mate, and as disappointed as I've been as an Adelaide supporter for a while, because they've got everything to play for at the moment. That's the most disappointing thing. They've got a final spot, or certainly not a top four spot now, but a final spot to play for, and they just didn't really give a yelp.
Which begs the question, has Don Pike lost the playing group? To me, it looks completely like they are lost and they're not sure about their place in the team. The decision to drop Eddie Betts, which we'll get to, didn't eventuate, didn't get a response, which is troubling for me. You said it's the most disappointed you've been as an Adelaide supporter for a long time, and you were there. Has he lost the group, do you think?
Well, it's a loose term, losing the playing group, and there's a lot of factors that can come into that. But when your team's not playing the way you want them to, there's something that's not quite right. And I thought it was a bold statement, putting Betts out of the side, but I think it was one that probably needed to happen, and we've spoken a little bit about that on the show throughout the year, and I think it was a good move. But in saying that, he didn't get the response he wanted, so I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Only the playing group know that.
Where to now for the Crows? Well, Rob Chapman is the chairman. He joined SEN SA's Kimbo on the Roots this afternoon. He was asked about fractions of the group splitting up. There's reportedly been 3 sections going their own way. Rob responded to that.
Yes, someone mentioned that to me earlier. I can't place faces or names into 3 factions in the football club. That's clear to me. But you know what? I'm going to acknowledge that. You know, we've all played sport. When you are used to being in the senior side, the A-grade side, and you get demoted, well, that has an impact upon you. It has an impact upon your colleagues, has an impact on the young blokes. So, look, I would say that may be one of many things contributing to our form, but certainly not the only thing.
Significant issues for Adelaide as they take on St Kilda this week. Surprisingly, they're still in 8th spot.
They are. Well, all this doom and gloom, and it seems like it's the Stephen Bradbury at the moment. Everyone around that 8th to 10th or 7th or 10th spot are losing. So that's one positive. They're still in the 8K.
It's not the way it was supposed to play out, though. You wouldn't have predicted Jacobs and Greenwood and Betts and Douglas to all play Sandful footy, Gibbs at this time of the year. So here's the names of the players that were running around at Glenelg Oval on Saturday, and they had some good performances. Gibbs absolutely had a truckload of it. See his numbers there, 40 and 10 and 10. That's the triple-double. Jacobs has been good every game pretty much he's played. Betts responded like he would, and we predicted he would with 4 goals, and Douglas was the best man on the ground with 34 and 3. So that is the positive as we see the vision of Eddie Betts, who was on fire.
Oh, he's kicked another one of them, has he?
It's always unlikely.
Now it's his pocket at Glenelg.
There's another one. Get out of it,
Oh,
Eddie.
no.
You've got your own pocket at the Adelaide Oval. We don't need another one at Glenelg Oval. But, I mean, he's got to come back in now, doesn't he?
Well, that's, first of all, a great response because players that have, or senior players like that, can let things like that get to them, but really good response. I don't think we can name every pocket in Adelaide after Eddie Betts. So we need to get him back in the Adelaide team so he can just have the Adelaide Oval pocket.
I think so. Don Pike was asked post-match in his press conference whether the axing of Eddie Betts affected the playing group.
Don't know. That's something we have to discuss. Don't know. I don't know whether people perceive that as, meaning everyone's on notice, if you like, and clearly that's not the intention behind the selection decisions. It's more based on what we think is the best team to play and win games of footy. So we'll explore that.
Bertie's going to look at the work that Adelaide put into Patrick Cripps a little bit later on in the program, and it's not pretty viewing, so stick around for that, Crows fans. Who do you think does come back in this weekend? Douglas, Greenwood, Betts, Jacobs? Yeah. There'll be some names thrown about. Yeah, definitely, and I think he's made a statement with Betts going out, so now if players aren't performing, they should go out, and if players are performing at SANFL like we see in the stats just then, they should come back in. So big pressure on the guys not performing, and he needs to keep making those calls. I think it was a good call. I'm sick of the questions about, did we lose because Eddie Betts went out the side? That's not why they lost. They just didn't come to play Adelaide. So, and he needs to keep making those decisions. Well, it wasn't much better at Port Adelaide either, as they went down by a point to GWS on Saturday night. And Port Adelaide, the gap between their best and their worst was on display again. Their first quarter was poor. They've lost 11 out of 18 first quarters this year. And this ball use from some of their better ball users early was as bad as I've seen for a long time. And that's saying something, because they are one of the poorer kicking teams in the competition. They kicked it at just 59% again on the night, and it continually cost them games. Yeah, the first quarter's an issue, isn't it? Yep. Because it's a mindset thing coming into games. If you Three continually tackles in the first quarter. Three. And you'd think they didn't have a lot of the ball. GWS had the ball the whole time in the first quarter, so you'd think you'd be making tackles. It's just disappointing, and you need to look at why that's happening, and whether it has to be a mindset. Yeah, it was poor again, and as you said, they haven't kicked a goal in 7 quarters this year, and 4 in the first quarter where they have been goalless. So massive issue for them. The starts, and for me, I'm prepared to say that they won't play finals, and certainly don't deserve to this year. Like, they might sneak in on 11 wins, but it's not going to be pretty if they do make the finals. Let's look at Kia big moment number 3. It was a goal review that went wrong on the weekend. It was in the Port Adelaide game. It had Ken Hinkley confused. This one from Tom Cleary went to run over, and he didn't. The goal umpire said, well, I'm not sure, so I'm going to send it upstairs and have a look at it. You can see the ball hasn't crossed the line there. The umpire comes back and says, no score, which meant they had a ball up at the top of the goal square when Port Adelaide had the ball in their hands. So it was a shocking call. This was the play that eventuated. Cameron kicks another goal. Once again, the AFL are embarrassed by another score review that they got wrong. Let's get to the best part of the week. It is the Kia Top 7. Bernie is at the Plasma, doing it all thanks to Kia, of course, home to Australia's best. 7-year factory warranty. What were your highlights this week? Well, as we mentioned, we haven't got a lot of highlights from the weekend, so I had to dig deep to find a few of these. But this was after the Adelaide-Carlton game, this first one. The marriage proposal from the boundary umpire. Do you like it? I liked it. I don't know if you didn't, but Dylan T and Alani Gupta, they're South Australian couple, so well done to them. And what about this lone Giants guy in the crowd? Is that your mate? That's taking a risk. Yes, so that was my mate. I do send people to Barrack against Port. Scotty Lycett, what are you doing? Pick it up. He didn't even touch it in the end. Wow, that's ruckman. That's a ruckman for you. A couple of positives. This guy's had a super year. What about this for a nice little snap around there? Is he leading the goal king for Port Adelaide? A bit of an issue. Well, there you go, as a first-year player. Speaking of first-year players at a club, what an electric start this bloke got off there. This was Adelaide's first goal, and I thought, you know what, we're up and about, and Eddie Betts has gone out. He's came in, and then it went downhill. But anyway, this Grant Bird, I know this is not a South Australian one, but have a look at this contest and just look closely around. Oh, he didn't just tap that. He grabbed it. That's a grab. That's a handful of that. Righto. What about this kid? A fortnight to me is 2 weeks, Kane. This guy here, do you know what he made today? He made $4 million Australian. $4.3 million. Get outside and kick the footy or throw something, do something. Although $4 million would be a riot. I'm with him. We're sitting here and he's playing video games for $4 million. Jeez, he must be good because everyone plays that game too. Comprehensive update from Bernie at the Plasma. You can get involved on social media, Footy SA and Facebook and Twitter. We'll be back with Bernie's takeaway and also where did it go wrong for the Power on the weekend. Thanks for your company on Footy SA. Port Adelaide's ball use on the weekend. I want to take another look at that. You'd think with 10 coaches, 9 of them assistant coaches and the head coach, Ken Hinkley, they'd get their ball use right and work out where not to kick it. They took 10 intercept marks, these two, Phil Davis and Nick Haynes. Look at that, he's standing by himself. A forward's got to come up and make a contest on Phil Davis. The kick has to be better for a start. That's gone straight down his throat, and that was pretty much the start of it. From then on, they had an absolute field day. Phil Davis, 13 marks on the night. Once again, you're going to see this one here. If it wasn't Davis, it was Haynes. On that occasion, they were both involved. Poor ball use again from Sam Powell-Pepper, and an average contest here from Butters. That's got to come to the ground. All your hard work to get the ball in there, and then it comes straight back out. This was so costly on the night. Once again, there's time to make a contest, get there, bring the ball to ground, force a throw in, and then set up your structures again. And this one from Boat, 2 minutes to go. Look at the score. They're down by a point. There he is. He's standing all by himself. Don't kick it there, Travis. What does he do? Kicks it straight to him. He takes his 4th intercept mark. That ball had to be out wide to Butters so he could run onto it. That was the difference in the game for Port Adelaide. That let them down again. Paddy Ryder came in for his first game in about a month, and he didn't have an impact forward. Let's take a look at his vision. He just wasn't able to get anything going, Bernie, and I really still see his preferred position as a ruckman.
Yeah, we obviously came in with the big call with Dixon going out, and they would have been hoping he had a real impact up forward, and wasn't able to do that. But it was worrying that last quarter, wasn't it? They continually just kicked back to... They had plenty of opportunities and just kept kicking it back to GWS. I wasn't happy because I picked Port Adelaide in an upset.
So did I.
Come on.
Yeah, so did I. And it's frustrating for them because the effort level was good. All the statistics were good, but their ball use just continually let them down. Let's take a look at the votes on the weekend. There were some good players for Repco Authorised Service Centre, your local mechanic with the nationwide backing of Repco. Book your next car service at repcoservice.com. 4 players, Boak was the best of them. I noticed he got 9 coaches' votes, even though Port Adelaide lost. He got the 4. Westhoff playing down back in a different role, I thought was solid. Robbie Gray was nearly the match winner with 3 goals. And young left footer across half-back, Riley Bonner, was pretty solid. We'll get Bernie's votes from the Crows game a little bit later on, and I can tell you, it's ugly. Time now to catch up with a Port Adelaide Premiership hero. It is our Kia drive down memory lane, thanks to the V6 twin-turbo Kia Stinger. It is the West Australian Car of the Year. Let's catch up with Brogues.
I'm about to catch up with Premiership Ruckman and, of course, Championship basketballer Dean Brogan. Brogues.
Biggles, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good to see you.
You too?
Are you ready for the Kia drive down memory lane?
I am. I've heard a lot about it. Can't wait.
We're going to delve into your footy past. You ready for that?
Oh, God. Well, we have to, Biggles. I'm sure I can talk about myself for a while.
Yeah, for hours. Righto, mate. Let's go. Rock and roll, Brogues.
So,
Before being a power superstar, mate, you won an NBL championship. Talk to us about that.
yeah, look, it's... I guess I grew up like in a basketball household. My sister played basketball for Australia, and it was always basketball before footy, and I guess I got the opportunity first to go to the RAS, and then all I wanted to do while I was growing up was become a sixer. And I was lucky enough to get recruited by Phil Smythe and become a sixer, and although I didn't play a lot of minutes that year, we were lucky enough to win the championship. So I guess it's one of those things that you look back on now, Biggles, and go, I can't believe I actually did that. But because if you actually saw me shoot a basket now, you'd go, how in the hell did I ever play basketball?
What were your earliest memories of playing football? Were you always 9'11" and 4 foot taller than everyone else?
Mate, you know what? Like, my height back then, and you were the same as me, Biggles, we were really tall.
Uncoordinated.
I think they could both see it us. We could run and chew gum and not fall over at the same time. I think they thought they could turn us into something. But my earliest remembrance of football is how sore I used to get. You know, we played in a day when it was a lot more physical than what I think it is today. I remember just coming off the ground with all the scratch marks, the spike marks all over me, and I used to think I couldn't play the next week because I had a corked thigh. And I remember the Port Adelaide medicos used to laugh at me and call me a bit soft. So it took a while to get adjusted to, but eventually got there.
174 games for the Power, outstanding career, but also the Premiership. That must have been a highlight.
I guess the biggest memory of the Premiership was the prelim final. I think if you asked anyone in that side, winning that prelim in that close game against St Kilda will always be probably one of the best games I've ever been involved with. And it's crazy to say that when you win a grand final, but the pressure of winning a prelim is enormous. And the expectations on us, obviously when you win a grand final, it stays with you forever, and I'm starting to realise that now as I become an old man.
I'm going to throw some one-word questions at you, and you've got to come back with some short responses. Choco Williams.
Hard.
Donald Dickey?
Funny name. Well, that's 2 words.
Funny name or funny haircut? Best footy trip?
Cairns.
Why?
I probably can't say it in the case.
Who was the most famous person in your phone at the moment?
Famous? Oh, Ryan Fitzgerald for sure.
Will he answer if we ring him? He did!
He answered! Fitzy! Mate, I'm in the car with Rhett Biglands. We're doing a TV show, and he said, who's the most famous person in my phone? I said, Ryan Fitzgerald. And he said, will he answer if we pick up? And I said, 100% he will.
And you did!
And you did!
Morons forever!
Morons forever.
Douche. We've got the power to win.
Well, that's an absolute highlight, Ryan Fitzgerald answering his phone on our show. Now, your one job is to get Tex on the show. If Bro can get Fitzy, you can get Tex.
I asked Tex on the weekend and it is 0%.
No, so you're telling me there's a chance?
No,
You're
zero
telling me
K, that's
there's
none.
a chance. Back
No
roll
chance.
with Footy SA coming up next. There's got to be a small...
Balfours and footy go together like grass stains on a Guernsey. To celebrate this perfect match, we're giving away a footy every day this footy season. To share your perfect footy moment, tag Balfours Bakery and use the hashtag #TakeASpecky to enter. Whether it's meeting your footy hero, celebrating victory, or taking a specky mark, Balfours and footy, the perfect match. Go get 'em.
Thank you to you, Brodie Smith from the Crows. You are watching Footy SA for Kia, home to Australia's best 7-year warranty, and OTR, who are making life easy. And just repeating, if you want to get involved in that Balfours Take a Specky promotion, share your perfect footy moment, visit balfours.com.au. Bernie was annoyed by something the Crows did or didn't do at Adelaide on the weekend. When you need a kick in your day, get a barista-made C coffee at OTR. One Carlton player had 19 clearances. How did he do that?
He did, mate, and I don't know. Oh, I do know why, because no one went to him. Well, they didn't go to him hard enough. And surely when you're playing against Carlton, you look to stop this. These are just some of his highlights. Now, these are some incredible highlights, but it was the ease in which you don't let him goal side or corridor side. And that's Rory Sloane, one of Adelaide's best players. Do not let him corridor side. Look at this, just pushes off. He's too big, too strong to leave him goal side or corridor side. And I mean, I think it was just the ease in which he cleared him out of some of the centre clearances were just too easy.
Eight centre bounce clearances.
8 centre bounce clearances. He just dominated the whole game. And I mean, they tried at times. See this here, just setting play up. At times they tried Sloane going to him second half a bit, and then the first half they tried with Brad Crouch, but this is what he was doing in the first half. So, and this one here, it's such a crucial stage, set that goal up late, and that almost put the nail in the coffin, that one. But it was I guess the thing that worried me was just the ease in which he waltzed out of him. If they had someone on him the whole time and tackled little clearance to the ground, that's okay. But it was the ease in which he just set play up. And Adelaide just continually do not tag. And I think it's something they need to look at.
Absolutely. Not the first gun midfielder to get a hold of Adelaide this year. Bryce Gibbs is sitting in the sandful. He's capable of playing that role. Well, let's see who's in your votes. All thanks to the Repco Authorised Service Centre, your local mechanic with nationwide backing of Repco. Book your next car service at repcoservice.com. Whoa! That's ugly.
Well, that's not good reading,
That is
it?
ugly.
Well, I'll tell you why it's not good reading, because it wasn't good watching for me on Saturday. So they bugger them. They can get 3 votes out of a possible 12.
Comfy. There's the leaderboard. Brad Crouch from Sloane, Travis Boak having a fine season, Matt Crouch and Riley O'Brien. Another man who's having a fine season, National Nathan Brown for Sportsbet. Brownie, welcome.
I had a good weekend last week. I was seeing the same game multis like watermelons last weekend. I was going that well. But let's have a look at the Adelaide teams and where they're placed this weekend. The Bombers up against the Power. The last 3 times these guys have played each other, the Bombers have jumped them in the first quarter and held at least a 3-goal margin, on 2 occasions a 5-goal margin. So the same game multi. Look, I don't think either side will blow each other away, so it's either a $2.10 or a $3.20. It's going to be hard for Port to win this game. The Bombers have come from behind in the last 5 games in a row. They've been behind in the last quarter and still won the game. Adelaide up against St Kilda. That's very short for the way the Crows are going, but look, they should beat the Saints, and hopefully it is a percentage booster because they're a game clear and percentage at the moment. So somebody's going to have to win 2 more games on the road on the way home against Adelaide to out them, but certainly 40 plus against St Kilda I think is justified for the Adelaide Crows this week. They need to be serious. No second half fade-outs. Let's get into the Brownlow medal market, and Lachie Neale is the favourite again. He had a really good weekend. Tim Kelly, Patrick Dangerfield's coming. Bogue, I still reckon Bogue, he got 39 on the weekend. Does he get votes? I'm not sure. Brad Crouch, done and dusted. I think Brad Crouch is 67, so I wouldn't be putting my money on him. And the Premiership market for the first time this year, apart from round 1, Richmond are the outright favourites for the Premiership. West Coast are coming hard. The Crows and Port have really dropped out. Adelaide was second favourite at the start of the season. The Sandford Premiership, you'd know more about this than me. Any surprises here?
Looking very good. Terrific win from Glenelg on the weekend. They are rightfully red-hot favourites.
And I know you love your cricket, Burn. The Ashes kicks off Thursday night. Can't wait for it.
Oh,
the Poms and the Aussies. The Aussies 250. Spoke to Johnny Hastings the other day. He reckons 4-1 the Aussies. Gamble responsibly.
Juicy stuff from Nathan Brown. The Ashes can't wait. That kicks off on Thursday. Edgbaston, where they never win.
Yeah, the big Duke. He's got him over the line. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. The Sandford update coming up next on Footy SA. Welcome back to Footy SA. All thanks to Kia. I've got to say, I'm driving a magnificent Sorrento at the moment, Bernie. GT, top of the range. It is magnificent. All thanks to Kia. A very, very nice family car.
Oh, okay.
Leather seats, heated seats, good for winter. Time for our Balfour's Sandford update by Balfour's Pie for a Sandford ticket. And Port Adelaide, they're flying in the Sandford, as are Adelaide. But Motlop kicked 4. Good response from being dropped. Here's some of the vision here. This is at Panther Park on Sunday, and he was back to his best, as he should be at that level and dominating. Charlie Dixon, good to see him hit the scoreboard with 3 as well. So you think both those guys in line for a return?
Yeah, definitely, especially after Port losing. But it's good to see the SA players go back and play well, isn't it? Both sides.
Yep, there's the result. Central's getting the better of West. Glenelg in a thriller against a stacked Adelaide. Norwood had a win, a big win over North Adelaide. Port Adelaide, as we said, got the better of South, and Sturt getting the win. And there's the ladder by Balfour's Pie for a Sandford ticket. Visit balfours.com.au. Glenelg sitting pretty, 2 games clear on top of the ladder. Head to balfours.com.au. Tip for the weekend, quickly?
Port Adelaide and Adelaide.
There you go. See you next Monday night.